Hello there everybody, this is Ram here and welcome back to Test Kerbal, a series that I just decided was gonna be a series when I started recording this video. Yeah. The first episode that you saw was just me working with a little Kerbal figure that I made, which I now transferred over to my new computer, and this is me working on my new computer trying to make a, you can see I already made the mark to, I think it's landing can. I already made that. I need to go over its texturing again. The model's great, but I need to go over the texturing again because it's not a very detailed texture. You can see it on the right hand there, and it's not super detailed. I need to make that better. In fact, both the textures that I end up with at the end of this episode, they need work, but they're okay for right now. So I'm starting to work on a smaller fuel tank. I don't remember what the fuel tank is called, but it's the smaller fuel tank for the large sized rockets. If that makes any sense, you'll see. But I'm starting on that, and I just got the height off of, I've got the game running in the other window, that's why you can hear the sound that's sped up. But I went and just saw the height of it and compared it to the lander can that I made, so I can get the right heights off that, and I compared that to my Kerbal. So far everything should be the correct height and everything like that. And I made sure that it's got the same number of sides. Each one of the parts, if you guys want to make something, each one of the parts has 24 faces for the larger tanks. I think they have it for the smaller ones as well, but it's just shrunk down. I haven't looked yet because I haven't tried to make a smaller piece, so I'll have to get to that later. But yeah, right now I'm just making the fuel tank for it, and I'm starting to go through, and I tried originally to make it so that I didn't have to use the mirror tool, but the mirror tool is just better. So I went, got the mirror tool, and I put some vertices on it now, and I'm starting to shrink it in and make it look a little bit like the can. The shaping of the can really wasn't the hard part. The hard part was just texturing it. These textures, oh my goodness. The animations that I make with these things aren't gonna look the absolute best, because I'm much better at 3D modeling than I am at texturing. If one of you guys are great at texturing and can make super great textures for it, or at least think that you can, leave a comment, or I'm not even sure a good way for you to contact me. There probably is. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know. Probably leave a comment, and then I'll find your YouTube channel and contact you in some way. But yes, I think I can do that because I can look at different things. Okay, I'll figure it out. If you can, leave a comment and I'll figure this out. But, yeah. So to get back to the video, right now I've made the basic 3D model. I think I stuck with this 3D model the whole way through. I don't think I had to do anything else. This fuel can is really simple 3D model wise. It's just a little can. It's not that hard. The hardest part was getting the dome on the top correct, but I got that done pretty fast. And here you can see I'm just finishing it out to make it look better. Now, you saw a few seconds ago where part of it was see-through and it was all white and everything. It was white because I haven't added a texture yet, and those of you that are familiar with GIMP, or not GIMP, I'll be using that program later, with Blender, then you know sort of what that is. You just haven't added a texture yet, and there's no lighting in there because it's on a different layer. So you can see over there, there's my Kerbal and everything, and I was just checking size-wise. And I actually bring the game in here into this screen pretty soon here, so you'll be able to see. I do have the game running. Yeah, there it is. And I'm just checking size there, but that's why it was like that. And some of the faces were switched around. When you create something, the faces can be facing different ways. And you might be thinking, well, of course they can. Some are facing up, some are facing down. Well, no. The way that, if you don't know, the way that games and most rendering engines look at stuff is, like, it only looks at one side of the face, so that it doesn't have to render too much, and so if you go inside something, you can still see out of it. So I had to go and tell all different faces to look out the right way. That way, when you look at it through a camera, you can actually see it all. And you can see on the original model of the lander can, I still have a few of those that were the wrong way, so I went and fixed those. But I went and taken care of all of that now, and right now I'm going, that you can see on the screen, right here you can see I'm going and making a blank texture area for the lander can, or not the lander can, oh there's the name of it, what was the name, oh I missed it, whatever, for the fuel tank, and I'm going to bring that in and put this, unwrap the whole thing onto that. Unfortunately when I do go for the first unwrap it sticks on its own layer, and then I don't realize that, and it's weird. I have to go back and change it later. I mess it up a little bit, but we'll get to that. So right here you can see that I'm unwrapping it, and once you get the hang of it, unwrapping things really isn't that bad. You can see over there it looks really chaotic, but if you just look at what I'm doing here, it's not really that bad. It does take a little bit of time to go through all this, but once you get it down it's not too bad. So of course right now I am unwrapping it. I've got all the textures and everything, and I'm pulling it apart and sticking it in the right order and seeing which way will look the best, and trying to think of a good way to stick it in there so that it all fits in nice and compact, and I can make it larger and still work right and that sort of stuff. And it's kind of interesting how this how the thing unwraps, because some pieces are smaller or larger than other pieces, and you gotta fit it in there right and other things, and because of that it didn't come out quite right the way that I was doing it, so I had to go back and undo some of what I did. So it'll get to that. Yeah, I re-unwrapped it, then just decided, oh, am I there yet? Still trying to make it bigger and make it work. Oh no, I already did it. Wow, that was really fast. Okay, but it went by, but I went and took away some of the seams. I unmarked them so that it unwrapped better. So you can see here now, it's coming out much better. All the circles are actually circles, and this made it so much easier for me to texture this later. So I'm going and spreading out the pieces, and unfortunately that piece of it that was in between the other piece that I stuck up top there, yeah, that big flat one, that one's like in a weird spot. It actually, if you were to come and stick these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that would be like, I think 6, and the big flat thing is like 5, but I still have the big flat thing up on top, not in between 6 and not in between 6 and 4. If you were thinking smallest one is 1, the next smallest one is 2, 3, 4, the big flat thing's 5, the other round thing that doesn't make a complete circle around the whole group of circles that are 6. I hope I'm making sense, but because it's a circle and that's a big flat thing, I had to do it that way. But anyways, now I'm on to the actual side of it, and that was pretty easy. You can just take it and move it up there, and then I'm doing it basically backwards here. So you can see there's another big flat thing, there's another, what we would call 6. So the big flat thing is totally separate from 6 because it's flat and can't really fit inside the circle. So I'm just kind of straightening it out, and then, yep, see, it's straightened out, and now I put it up there. And then I start working on the other ones and enlarging them so that I've got room to go and put the other ones in with the little gaps in between them, which I probably should have put bigger gaps in between them, because later when I went to texture this it was a little bit hard because the gaps were so close. But yeah, I tried recording this once already and it didn't work, so I don't know what I've already said before and what I haven't. But yeah, now I try resizing them, and I realize, oh well, that thing's not gonna resize, right? Wait, oh, I've got the wrong thing on there. Okay, so now I'll go and stick it on the right one, that way I have more room, because on this image I made it a pretty big image, that way I could get some detail into this, and I don't think it was quite enough actually, so I might have to go through and do something else to it. It was okay for this, but for the lander can I might have to go back and make something larger and more detailed and put on that. Oh my goodness, I'm burping. That sounds like another YouTuber. Oh wow, that's really weird. And I did just take a drink before this. That's odd. If he watches this video, specific YouTuber, you're not alone apparently, which is kind of sad. But I've got the image there, so I'm exporting the UV layout, and then I'm gonna stick it in GIMP. GIMP's amazing software. If you don't already use it, it's great. I like it. So I've got it here in GIMP, and all the textures and everything are there. So now I start to texture it. And this does take a fair little bit of time. Thankfully, I've still got the color palette up from when I made the lander can, Mark II landing can. I'm so probably getting the wrong name on that, but that's what I'm going to call it for this video. Yeah, I've still got the color palette up from that, so I'm just using the same color palette. And through this whole thing, I basically only use 2 colors. I just use the dark gray and the light gray, then I use the pencil and the spray paint thing to go and get everything that I need. And get all the variants of gray and stuff in there. Yeah. So here I'm going, and I don't know if how well you can see it inside the video, but I'm going and selecting a certain piece because everything's so close there. If I select a certain piece and tell it not to draw inside there, then I can then go and create the line there of color, as you can see there, because I've got the top layer transparent a little bit so I can see the stuff below it. And I'm drawing on that line of color, and it doesn't go and interfere with the other layers that are the darker color primarily. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, just coloring that in. I'm trying to move the mouse and scroll up so I can see the right part of the video without stopping the video. There we go, okay. Because that's what I did last time, it stopped recording. Now I can actually see everything that's happening. It's great. So yeah, now I'm going, and keep in mind I do have the game open in the other screen, so I'm looking at it and trying to replicate exactly what this looks like, having to flip on and off the opacity levels so that I get it right. Yeah, see, now I go over to the spray paint tool and I'm spray painting in the different lines and everything. I don't know how this is gonna look for you guys when this thing renders out, but it looks kind of jagged to me. I hope it doesn't look this jagged when it's rendering out. I might have to go through and tweak some features. It also might just be because it's going so fast. If it didn't go so fast, it'd be like multiple hours of video, because all those nice little animations that you guys see, be thankful for them, because they take so long to do. Oh my goodness. This whole project is probably like, I don't know, 10 hours worth of work so far, including the editing. It's probably gonna end up to be 10 hours by the time this video is released and all the links and everything are in. And that's just for the lander can and this fuel tank. So all of those guys that do really amazing animations, you should just go and like all of their videos, because they're amazing people for doing that. Oh my goodness, I've tried to do a few Minecraft animations, and that was not easy. There's a lot of rigging detail and other things inside there. But to get back to what's happening here, you can see I'm just adding more texture on there, and I was really smart and went and tried to darken up the side of it there after I'd made that nice little white line on the bottom there, the lighter line. So I hurt my lighter line and had to go back over it. It didn't take me too long, and I'm doing this all with a mouse, not with a touch screen, which I think professionals use because it would make it so much easier. I have a tablet, but I can't actually see the screen, and with having 2 screens, it kind of throws it off. So yeah, so I'm really glad that I got all of this the way that it is with just using a mouse. I'm actually pretty proud of it. I still need to go back and add the screws and bolts onto this, because those things have like light shining on one side, and oh my goodness, it's just really detailed. You can see those little tiny like imprint things. I think what I need to do is go like the little star and circle and other things with the different brushes. That's the right name for them. I think I need to go and make a brush of one of those, and that's the only way that I'm going to be able to go and put on those little screws and stuff onto the side of this tank. But yeah, so we're past that now. Now we're into the bottom section of the sort of like a can of the fuel tank, and the bottom section of this one is just all black minus 1 ring, because they sort of, even though the game has shaders, thankfully, and pretty good shaders, it still does its own shading, so it has the top things brighter than the bottom things. So the bottom's all dark, where the other bottom was some dark, some light, and then there's a lot less light details on the bottom of it. You can, if you remember from the other one while I was talking, the bottom piece of it was a lot lighter than this one. There was a much bigger bright light area from where, apparently I'm doing quotations in the air like you can see those. Air quotations where, yes, on the bottom of the fuel tank. This one's much smaller because there's just less light to see it, where on the top one it's much bigger so you can see it better. Although I would think it'd be bigger on the bottom because it's been sitting that way. I don't know, do Kerbal stack their things upside down? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I can make a video where they stack things upside down and it explodes. Haha, that's actually a really good video. That might just be one of my first Kerbal animations. Okay, well the other one was the first Kerbal animation. No, it'd still be one of my first Kerbal animations. Yeah, that might happen. I'm not sure, but it might. Yeah, and now I'm just going, and if you look on this can, then you can see there's like these little lines of panels that are stuck on. So I'm going to hide up some of the lines where the mesh or the texture will go and connect each other, and I'm making those on there, and then I add one in the middle so it's not just one giant metal plate, it's two metal plates. So now I'm going and exporting the texture on top of the one that I already had here, so you can see there now it's all textured. And I think it looks pretty good. It still needs those rivets in it, but once it has the rivets in it, it's pretty good. Then of course, when I try to do the real-time render, I have to go and align the texture, and I realize, oh wait, I left transparency on when I rendered out this image, so I can see the lines. Well then, go back to the editor and fix that! So yeah, now I'm just going in, turning up the opacity, and I go in and fix a few little details, then re-render it and export it and close down, then open up Blender. So I've got it here, and the reason that it's just that ambient color is because I have ambient occlusion on, and I don't have any lights inside that layer, so you can see it there, and I actually think that looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty close to the overall thing. I do need to work, textures are the big drawback there, but the actual mesh itself I'm really proud of. I like the way that mesh turned out. I think it looks quite beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Look at that. And thankfully, because this is like 4 times speed, it actually, the real-time render does look fairly real-time, and it's fairly nice. But that's the end of the video. Yeah. I guess I'll see you all next time. God bless and goodbye.